Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights of today's LEC 2025 matchup.
Even though every lane is actually pushing right now. It's not the best situation for a jungler. He gets one of those scuttle crabs and he's not falling behind at the first early opportunity, but he's not bot lane now for a dive potentially.
Trying to shield the early dive. Nelio just turns up a little bit later, looking for the double grasping route. Alvaro takes a lot of turret aggro, but it doesn't matter. Super claims first blood.
BDS left alone under their tower. 113 went for a top scuttle and MKOI went to...
He is around, yeah, Hysteric's on the next cast, so there you go. Maybe it's just a premonition. Nuke hops across the belt. Looks for a bit of a chunk and gets a solid one onto Jojo. All the while, 113 start up the dragon, but Mewin and Elio coming over. Oh! 113 now slowed down. Nice move up from MKOI looking for the lane pressure, but here comes Alvaro from behind onto Nuke, who's going to go down. Jojo slides on in and claims the kill.
So don't be able to get out. Has the flash, has the ult. Doesn't get a chance to use either though. Walks up too far, loses his life.
Getting a second kill after is rough, and now we're looking at potential double shattering strike. Alvaro gets a huge moment, the Stranglethorns after, and BDS bot lane is being taken to the cleaners. 3 kills on this Kalista.
Every one of these
really?
It is. So says the screen in front of me. So whoever read that on there, I'm going to trust them. And yeah, I mean, it does unlock a reset composition. Can they get something here? He's in the middle of a fight.
Good chunk on Delioyo, who's very low, throws down the Stranglethorns, gets a big knock-up, trying to get away, doesn't quite have the flash. 1-for-1 right now, Paris shuffled away by Jojo, looking to get an auto or 2 more down, can't get to the blast cone. And Jojo picks up another nuke, desperately low to boot him. Saying he's supposed to be a side character. Mewin says, actually, I want an action sequence too. Super, summons the Fate's Call. Alvaro goes for a crash down on top of 2. 113 is around, teleports continue to fly as MKOI want to really force this, and a rend comes on out, and down goes Ice, melted in front of our eyes.
Oh, you can tell that's super
first turret as well.
Yeah, 6 grubs on Azir, who's pushing lanes, on Kalista, on the Cassandra is pushing as well. Yeah, the only way that gets worse is by having those 6 grubs, and I don't know, it's raining as well or something. So just a little bit of extra misery. Really annoying that for the bot lane here, that the Kalista manages to stack up the lethal tempo stack so quickly, so early, and just keeps jumping forward. You can use so much of that mobility, and just completely shreds through Corky. First tower going over towards Jojo Pyun on the Azir.
So yes, you've got good damage later on, but it's not like Movistar KOI are falling off a cliff come 25 minutes.
Yeah, so let's see if they can use some smoke and mirrors, catch someone out. But actually, if you're doing it in bot lane, I think they've been sniffed out just a bit. Movistar KOI really on it today. Everyone's going on to him.
Into the public execution. Alvaro's going to try and buy some time, but there's a shuffle to get Jojo out to safety. Stranglethorns comes down. Paris now in danger. They have to back away. There is a teleport. Super's here as well. Huge W as Mewin goes all out. 113 will claim Jojo finally, but I think the damage is done. Hang on. Flash away, double for 113. There's something coming back. Can look to steal another body. I don't think he's going to have quite enough to hop anymore. At least gets 2 back. It's a 2 for 2, all things said and done.
BDS were always going to look for that kind of play, catch someone away from the group, but Movistar KOI see it coming, and they do largely win out on it, and with the 6 grubs, they get to capitalize on it too. Ice is pushing in the mid lane. He'll get something from that, at least for BDS, in terms of some tower plates, I suppose, in the mid lane. He's not going to be able to take the whole thing. It's a couple of kills down, and the resets, you can see the potential of the Viego if you get robbed.
113.
BDS, sadly, because they spent so much time contesting the Herald, they don't even have a chance to really do much about Dragon. They can't even do that now. The Herald's being put down into mid lane. I like what Movistar KOI are doing here. They say, well, we're going to take the Herald. We don't have to take the Dragon now. We can use the Herald to slam into mid lane, force BDS to just stay here. Well, they can't really do much about it. Dragon potentially sets up. You can see that Paris on a very long flank, actually. Has ult, has flash, might be able to do something.
Vara's going to board him out,
quite a long angle.
See, he's trying to make it out. Vision from our observers showing that Paris currently on a very deep flank. Irrelevant.
There's no cleanse on Super. If he does get if he gets the charm onto Super, things could be quite dangerous. But again, Movistar KOI have been really good at sniffing out the next play from BDS in this game so far. Not a bad angle from Paris. If you do push in very heavily on one lane, well, you beat that, you flank him, you go on their flanking angle, see if you can catch him out. Couldn't quite do so there. So Movistar KOI in this series of play, get the Herald, use that to push mid, go down towards the Dragon. They don't immediately rush towards the Dragon. I think that's a good thing for them. And BDS, they haven't really had much chance to cross up. They're teleporting now to a side lane, which to me feels a little bit late. They've not really managed to get anything away from the objectives that MKOI are starting to take.
Now we hit this point where you've got nearly a 3,000 gold lead individually for this Kalista, who will be finishing a second item very shortly. In fact, nearly the entirety of Movistar KOI will be finishing second item shortly, while BDS will be stuck at 1 for the foreseeable future, and that's going to hurt.
Oh, this feels a little bit like Tutorial League of Legends. 6 grubs, demolish on the tower, easy in a tower take. You can see that, of course, Nuke is pushing the top lane now, but because that teleport came out a little bit late, maybe they were afraid of getting engaged on before that teleport came out. Just a little bit slow to get towards that tower. Taking it down now, but not before a lot of damage is done. Super's backing for 2 items now. He's a 5-kill Kalista. God help us. BDS, yeah.
Finishes second out and buys half of the next one. Yeah, I mean, this guy is so strong.
One of the lesser-known terms in League, which I like. That's a problem. Riftmaker gives you the heals as well. The great thing about this build, by the way, fun fact, these items will affect his tower shots. So spell effects do affect that too. So if you watch that later in the game, maybe you'll see the burn applying afterwards. Either way, a bit more tanky makes it much harder to get the resets. Bit of a brush bait.
Nice push bait. It's onto the backline. Super and LEC caught out. Huge play from BDS. Can they finish the job though? As 113's gone in and not really got the reset they were looking for. Only find 1-for-1.
Movistar. See, the 113 is currently off the vision. He's got a sweeper in there, but Alvaro doesn't quite manage to catch the Rune King. Instead, Yolio catches Paris over the wall too. Yikes, that's a lot of damage from the electrocute on the Zyra.
Go on towards the Atacans. Sticking it full of spears currently. Again, you are now into a position where even if you contest, it's not even with the Kalista end. And 113 caught out trying to find an angle to come in and see what's happening at Atakan and just dies. Now there's no smite contest at all.
And that's going to be a bit of an issue. So, Movistar KOI, do they go straight back towards the Atakan? Yes, they do. You can see the hop, the skip, and the jump on the minimap of the Kalista, putting the spears into it. Ice is going to be able to take the mid lane out of turret, which is something for BDS. It'll give them an ability to put down wards into the enemy jungle if they can find a route in there. But Atakan taken for free.
Claimed, and now it's a 3v4 in the mid lane. The Movistar KOI were very happy to take, and you can't really blame them at this point. The frontline plus in Azir does a lot of work, and Nuke forced to go between worlds and will hop to the other side of his arena briefly, but that's another ultimate down, and BDS, it feels like they just don't have anything left to try.
Well, Paris is currently off vision. He might try something here.
Tries to go in, and there's the public execution after they get a withdrawal, but then the turnaround begins to come on through. The Stranglethorns are there. Fate's Call used a double kill to Elioy, and they keep trading back. There's another withdrawal down at least, but that's not as easy as you want as Super. It's just untouched, so stuck, irrelevant, full of quite a few spears. And he'll back away to make sure he's out of range of the Rend.
Credit to Paris for looking for something. Ends up being a 2-for-2 with kills to withdrawals. So even then, it's tilted in favor of Movistar KOI. They use the 6 scrubs to take down an inner turret, and the train just keeps on rolling forward. BDS, they are still, I mean, just look at all the gold leads down. I mean, your carry rolls are behind in every single bit, and even at the top lane as well. You've got Mirwin, who's significantly far ahead of the Ambassador as well. Credit to Mirwin. His last couple of Ws forward to get that shunt into the Q3 have been very dangerous. BDS had to respect that an awful lot. Super center of this composition on the Kalista, getting another objective. They are currently one objective, that one dragon, which went over to BDS.
Oh, yeah.
Allowed to have that special little feat for yourself. But yeah, with the Merc Treads, back to the serious part of it, but the Merc Treads does make him a little bit more defensible. Really trying to play around vision here on BDS, but his Nuke just caught out.
The killer bunny rabbit with the sharp pointy teeth is eating a holy hand grenade of Antioch this time around. Nuke is about to be nuked, you think, but actually managed to walk away. The Ambassador goes in, and Paris tried to buy some time. Look at Jojo on the flank, looking for an angle, gets a few with the Emperor's Divide. Descending from the north of Canada into Europe to find a few here in his first match in playoffs. All out goes Mirwin, and Irrelevant is just that in this game.
Looks like all the BDS caught some air miles there, either by shuffle or by all out through the wall. Movistar KOI not caught out again. BDS have been resorting to the vision plays, and it just hasn't worked for them. It's going to be Baron started up by Movistar KOI, and it's very likely going to be finished by them as well. Very clean game from Movistar KOI here in game 1 against BDS.
They are 10,000 gold up. They're about to pick up a Baron, and BDS, it is a miracle or next game, I think, is all they've got left to work with.
They've sniffed it out pretty well. I mean, I'm not going to criticize BDS for trying. Like, once again, Barris is in a brush. They're doing the same thing over and over. It's got to work at some point, right?
Here goes Paris, and 113 into the backline onto Jojo, who might be the target, but he's so damn tanky, he gets to slide away. You can't blame them for looking. There's just not enough in the back pockets. Their weapons are just rusted and not dangerous enough to get through all of the armor, all of the health, and all of the turnaround punches that Movistar KOI keep throwing. They pick up a tier 2. They don't lose a member, and Irrelevant and 113 both fall.
How do you kill this Azir? Jojo Pyun makes it out. They don't get the resets again. It's going to be a kill to Super. Not a Nuke. Gets a kill there. The Kalista goes down. As Nuke does finally, as a treat, give them a bit of a kill back, which stops a death push coming in. For Movistar,
right corner of your screen, you will see that a Hex Dragon is spawning in 20 seconds, and that would be Soul for Movistar KOI if they can claim it, and at that point, if the game wasn't already over, it would be then.
Feels like you've said that a couple of times. BDS, can they find another pocket to play from? Nuke has teleport, could make his way down. Do they have any flanking wards? Look on the minimap. No. No, they don't. So that one's a little bit difficult. The bunny will have to hop their way towards the fight from a different angle, and now suddenly BDS, they are caught out against the wall again, and now Luke's have to teleport into the middle of the team.
Super flashes away as Paris desperately tries to find a quickness, doesn't quite find it. They lose Nuke, he's dead already, so is the top laner. Irrelevant now, 1-1-3, and Paris fleeing into Movistar KOI's jungle. There is nowhere you can run that you'll be not pinned to the ground by Super on this Kalista, who is using that Marshall poise to continue to hunt for this Viego, who's desperately trying to run away, but at this point, he's got a Yakety Sax in a dream. It doesn't really matter. The soul is significantly more important. He will get to reset, but that's all you can say, because Movistar KOI are shoving to break the base.
Nuke! The middle of the team is not a flank. That's not the ward you want. Flies into the middle of the team, has damage, but not able to use any of it.
Bar.
And with the 6 grubs as well, you get the support on the top lane able to shred through towers on their own. Super is left to do the dragon on his own. He's allowed to go out and have his own curfew now. The rest of the team will pick him up later. 2 inhibs down from 2 lane pushes, get a dragon and a Hexgate back out to the rest of their team. Movistar KOI, what a clean sweep.
Look, we were setting this up as an archetype of fast v slow, but then there's Mach 5 and not out of the starting gate, it feels like this time. BDS have been shell-shocked.
It really has ever been since that laning phase from that Kalista. Things got so difficult. Jojo! What a sweep.
Taken out by Jojo. Goes looking for another. 3-1-10 now.
Turns out you can't play the vision bait if you don't have an engager to sit there. You're dead. You can't look for that one again. And now with that pick, they might just look towards the Nexus itself. There's a teleport back to the turrets from Irrelevant, who sadly, I don't think I've ever mentioned him. Besides that, this game, he's not had anything to do. Movistar KOI moving towards the turrets.
Looking to end the game. Movistar KOI hop on forwards, and BDS are going to throw one last gasp. But it is just their last breath before Movistar KOI put them out of their misery. It has been a shellacking. They have destroyed this game from the early tower dive, from the early 2v2 damage, and they've not looked back. Taking a fair amount of damage shoving through these turrets, though. They've got Hex Soul and a Dream, and the Nexus likely still falls. Movistar KOI going to play with their food a little before ending it all.
Apathy for the series. First game of Fearless down. Movistar KOI, this was not close. BDS back to the drawing board. If there is any last-minute flexes coming through, they have to make their way through no man's land. All of that dangerous, dangerous ultimate artillery to throw it back at them.
Look, if you're running, let's put in his head, will ward off too much more than that.
Dragon's going to be started. Nuke's going to recall. He looks to teleport in. If they do want to fight, you can just leave elsewhere. They are walking up river, but are they going to do anything about it? I don't think so. Yoyo, what do you think about this?
That's the Glacial Prison afterwards, and that means the Maokai going to be the target. Taken pretty low, but will turn around, look for a fight themselves. Massive ult into the W forwards, forces the ult away from Jojo.
BDS have a really good combo with that Maokai, the Renata, and of course the Equalizer.
Game stands pretty even right now. It may well not be after a few moments. 1-1-3 looking to step on forwards. It's brazen as brass, or I suppose a giant tree. Throws down the ultimate, and Nature's Advance gets so much value. Jojo dead to rights, and you can start bouncing around. Firefighter Tristana is setting more than she's turning off. Alvaro in danger as well, as put on the barbecue, courtesy of a great start to BDS, who are...
do you want to be there? That's a bit difficult. Irrelevance here. Yone does have ult flash, but I don't think he's actually coming to help right now.
Blocking him, and again, Dredge line blocked, and Nautilus is not exactly fast. He's being slowed down and donated a kill. Irrelevant picks up a kill on the Rumble. A couple wards behind Dragon Pit, but that's about it. Dragon is spawning in 35 seconds, but BDS saying, look, you can have that. We want to play for this turret topside instead, and Jojo very alone up here, and it is very, very dark. Not for long, though, as the tree comes in and says, surprise garden party! And Jojo is down for the count.
Really clean Maokai play from BDS. They play around this ultimate as soon as it's on the board. Movistar KOI don't know where it's coming from. They can fire from out of Fog of War, Equalizer to clear out the mid lane as well. Movistar KOI really don't know what to do about this ultimate off cooldown from 1-1-3, which is setting up his team so well.
1-1-3. Played a couple games of Maokai so far. The split 1-1, but this is looking like an additional W in that column. He's having a great game so far.
You know what? This is a great time to talk about 1-1-3 as well. We're going to get some cross-mats coming in from KOI. 1-1-3, the last time I saw him in LEC, back in 2022 on Astralis, he really struggled. This guy came in after a great stint in the ERLs over on Carmine Core. He has leveled up so much in this split. A lot of people didn't necessarily believe in him. And honestly, after regular split, there's an argument between him and Nuke for being best player on his team. Got some teleports coming in from Nuke as they try and catch out Mirwin on the bot side. There might be a shuffle back from that ultimate. Choosing not to use it right now.
Beats himself up with the defiance. Oh, the flash read by Paris with the handshake, who flashed away from the Glacial Prison himself. Few summoners blown some health bars low, but it's still going to be Mirwin who needs to leave on short order.
And he's not going to be able to defend that. There's a Tristana with 4 grubs and the Varus being able to hit down on this turret too, really starting to take control of both sides of the map.
I should have said Leaf. There's a mount player in the game. What am I doing? There was a pun available and I didn't take it.
I'm disappointed. No, I'm not disappointed.
You'll
get him next time, Sam.
And everyone else hopes like, please don't get it next time.
Yes.
That would be great. Leave that one alone. Second turret picked up for BDS. They are in a
Lane Bully has the Malignance being a damage threat, and you can start to shield someone like the Yone to allow them a little bit extra time to go through. You can try and shield someone like the Ezreal to survive as well, and the Sejuani all over the wall.
Glacial Prison onto the Maokai. Not the easiest target to take down, but will still likely be in a spot. That has to flash away, throws down the ult themselves, and there's the Equalizer after onto Super, who's rooted up on top of the fire. Just about surviving, but that's left the side laner out to dry. Mirwin goes down. Irrelevant flashes in to kill Super as well. Will surely fall out, but he's got a bailout. Can try and keep him alive. No, finally goes down, but Jojo is an additional price. Movistar KOI gets a kill finally. But it is not much of a silver lining here as the mid lane turret falls. It's just looking like the inverse.
You probably want to do a lot of things with that. Yeah. You can see that might go towards Saras. That's an ult from Jojo, dodged out of by Nuke.
Ooh, good buster shot after. Now Jojo's in danger. The explosive charge just having flashes for a bit more, trying to get some more hops forward. Jojo with a solo kill. Mortal Steel is stronger than the Yordle.
Who cares about a gold lead? Yone does Yone things. Tristana goes down for their first death of the game. Jojo, not necessarily the easiest split for him so far. We had high expectations of him, but that one is definitely something which Movistar KOI would have wanted at this point in the game.
2 and 3 trying to come back on in. Does it against Nuke as well. It's a key person to take out.
This is huge,
shutdown is big. They
Guys,
get
this is
something.
This is big, right? Because not just the tower going down here as well. If we look at everything else, that's allowed an extra couple of walls to come in on top side. It means that before this, BDS had a good lockdown on the top side of LCK, LPL, and elsewhere as well. You can either fight through this kind of path here, or you can try and fight up and down the river. It's kind of hard depending on what lanes you have pushed. If you don't have lanes push, which MKOI don't currently have right now, you kind of have to go through the Tri-Brush, which is very hard to do. Really want to do that. This is what I was saying, right? They could have gone through Tri-Brush instead. They now push out mid lane and try and go up the river instead. BDS kind of just saying, no, don't take the easy entrance. Go back through the Tri-Brush. It's better for us.
There's been a little bit of changes to Atakan, as it said, but obviously the fight about to start off over it.
Oh!
That tries to be bought, but a huge true shot barrage. Gets a big chunk. The hostile takeover, though, is brutal in turn. And Nuke cuts off Alvaro, and they get back to that Atakan.
Both teams going a little bit too far. But that is why the setup for the Atakan around the Tri-Brush is so important.
Round 2, let's go. BDS right back to where they started off. Still got control of that Tri-Brush. Saplings in there. MKOI coming on over to try and fight this, but I think it might already be dead.
They don't have the big ultimates. They don't have the big ultimates, but there is going to be no chance of getting it. They arrive too late.
Alvaro flashes away, slowed down by that sapling, couldn't stick around anymore, and MKOI just too slow on the reset, and BDS burn it down before they can come and respond.
Oh, Movistar KOI been really shoved out of most of the objectives. That kill onto Nuke earlier, I thought that would make it a little bit easier to go towards the Atakan, and I suppose it did. They had a chance to go towards it, but BDS, they calmed down, they used the next round of ultimates. Now they have really good ability to force a fight like this.
W113 goes on him with the twisted advance. Mirwin will likely fall as the explosive charge on top of him. Bailout comes on top, and Nuku does get withdrawn. They get 2 as Jojo finds a good angle. Ice not here as it stands. Elyoya falls down as Paris and 113 finish the job there. Still strictly a 3v3. They'll get one more, but these withdrawals are getting swiftly whittled down. Jojo's picking most of them up, and BDS fumble the...
One of the carries is shorter. Question is, can they do that and the bailout without giving a kill through? BDS going to walk up, take themselves an inner turret here. They want to be strong on the bot side of the map for the dragon spawning just now, and they do just that. Walk up, take the tower, leave wards on your way back, go take the dragon.
We'll head back to this, and it feels like Movistar KOI just saying we'll play towards the other side of the map. Remember, Baron spawning in 3 odd seconds, and it is Movistar KOI with control of that part of the map. How bold are they feeling? They don't want to overforce, but they do have control there.
I was kind of sad that we've not... Have we seen a Ruinous Atakan in play yet?
I don't remember having seen one.
Yeah, I think there might have been
maybe
like a
that has been. I don't remember. Production, if you know, tell us, and then we'll tell everyone else. But for now, I'm just going to confidently say no.
No, you don't have to tell us. It's not relevant now. We're past it anyway. BDS going to walk forwards. 113 losing a lot of his HP, but he's in a tanky tree.
Sap magic and unending despair. He does does not care at all. Nuke gets a kill, Super being slowed down by the Electro Harpoon, cleanses it, it just doesn't matter. He's burning out, down to about 5% HP as the Fate Seal goes wide, and Jojo now left up in the mid lane will force Relevant to go golden. Man to Q will not come on through. The Soul Flare is the upgraded Q ability from Karma, not going to be used. Then they head straight back over towards the Baron. The man advantage is currently BDS's.
So a lot of tools used. Movistar KOI, they don't really have anything left to retake the pit here. BDS, they can tank this up for forever with the Maokai. They are teleporting, but there aren't that many tools left. Nuke jumping out.
True Shot, Barrage, and a Dream can look for an angle on in here. Jojo unbind the Soul, finds an angle, looks for Q1, unbinds the Soul, can look for a big angle on in. 1-1-3 bite, tied though. Baylor comes on through and Irrelevant is dead. BDS now in danger as they're split apart. Nuke needs to reset, does have TP, can't quite have it happen as 1-1-3 split off from the team. Sap Magic healing is decent, but not enough. And now this is giving Movistar KOI a moment where BDS are split apart to look towards the Baron. They're also low, one reset does come on through. Teleport now back from Nuke. 3v5. BDS are going to have to try and play this one out as MKOI aren't exactly high HP either. Where is this one going? Alvaro looks for the hook, lands it onto Paris. Perhaps not the easiest target, but a big knocker for Jojo. Baylor comes on through and Paris likely dies. Survives by rebounding his soldiers. Jojo, Ice trying to trade this one out, gets one back potentially. Ice does get one, but he's on top of the Soul Flare. The Movistar KOI against all odds find themselves an ace into BDS.
Insanely played from Movistar KOI, given what tools were available. There was a Mantra Q in there from Mirwin.
Deliver into all 5 members. Back to Baron though, and Movistar KOI couldn't take it in the break.
Yeah, and remember this time they actually have their ultimates. The Maokai goes in again.
Gold lead has been shrunk, but it's still very much BDS favor. Now Elioya is the one who's being caught out. The Sejuani is roast pork. Pick that one up. The depth charge comes on through. Hostile takeover onto Super. Just eat away from Paris. Bailed out, but will fall. Not enough money to bring that business back from the brink. Alvaro hooks on in and will swiftly regret it. Double hop this time as Mirwin is taken down by Nuke. Super goes over the wall, but it's Buster shot out. Jojo looks for an angle. Has unbound the Soul. Equalizer keeps Super pinned into that choke point, but will not take them low. BDS win the fight.
Members present and accounted for.
Away again, it feels like the Baron has been the death of both teams so far. Mid lane tier 1, now an attack from Movistar KOI. Elioya spotted out by the control ward as they're trying to prevent easy access to the turret from BDS. It looks like that mid tier 1 finally falls. Minions finish the job as Mirwin and Jojo shove that in.
So Movistar KOI in a much better scenario than I thought they would be after that early game, honestly. They've managed to fight their way back, despite BDS locking down a lot of the map pretty well. A lot of this game is really just being ruled by this Maokai though. 1-1-3 just going forwards time after time. Very, very tanky with how many Heartsteel? A lot of Heartsteel stacks. Yep, that'll help. 342 so far. No, that's Sejuani's got much less. Jojo going forwards though. That is not as tanky to the Yone with the Infinity Edge.
Get a big chunk onto 1-1-3 with the Glacier Prison lands. Going to be onto Paris who throws down the Locket Shield, the hostile takeover, and Nature's Grasp burned.
That's a lot of tools used. That is an awful lot of tools used. You need to use them so effectively for BDS. They throw out a lot of their big line space-denying tools, and now Movistar KOI say, okay, that's a lot of that gone. Let's go towards the Baron ourselves. BDS realize, okay, there's not much we can do about this. Baron at half HP, and I think they might have to give up the approach.
Baron going to be starting taken down. No way in for BDS, and now Movistar KOI turn for the fight. Fate Sealed used. Going to be Jojo locked up though and taken out just shy. And it's his own fate that ends up being sealed. Mirwin now in danger, being run down by the Rumble, and Nuke, who can hop over the wall. Both solo laners from Movistar KOI might be the penance they pay for taking the Baron. Minions starting to do a lot of work. They're trying to make sure that this Karma, who can run real fast with Defiance, may get an execute. I don't know. There's not been a lot of damage on it so far. Trying to reset. Wait, Baron powered recall, not enough. Nuke hops forward and gets the kill.
Oh, the game of hide and seek cut short. BDS somehow managed to catch out Jojo. Jojo whiffs another ultimate, even with that big Infinity Edge. Just goes straight into the back of BDS. That does mean Dragon goes to BDS. Movistar KOI will have the Baron buff on 3 members. Mirwin and Jojo, if you're not going to have them, we'll see what they can do with that while it lasts. The Rill is really nice, especially if you're trying to play towards some of those slower retreats. And of course, it's the raw penetration from that Ezreal. Really, really nasty. Irrelevant, feeling a bit of the sting of that one.
GA just completed for Jojo. Teleports back in. 1-1-3 goes very deep. Immediately throws down Nature's Grasp to get something down. Big chunk back. Jojo finally hits it all, but is immediately burned out. Gets a huge chunk back. 1-1-3 burning out with the bailout. The GA prevents his reset. Hostile takeover comes across, but look who's been picked off. It's Nuke. He's eviscerated. Jojo kills his man.
The bomb Doom's been disarmed, the Tristana hits the ground, and Movistar KOI might just have been able to play the slow game well enough to walk forwards for at least an inhibitor. 40 seconds on the Tristana is enough for them to take control of the map, but not enough to end the game. This has put them into the gold lead though. They've managed to puzzle their way out from BDS around the objectives. They take a fight around the mid lane, and that GA from Jojo makes a huge difference.
Jojo survives with the GA, prevents a reset with bailout, and then finds his person. We've been criticizing him for not hitting his ults. Finds some key ones there. Is currently soloing the Dragon irrelevant. Finds a lot of people, but actually, the rest of BDS coming over to try and play this, but suddenly they're all being caught out! Movistar KOI collapse at BDS! What was the decision making there? Ice in a 1v3 won't get anyone with him, he tries. And the respawns will come on through for Newcomb 1-1-3, but it's a trade for the rest of the team.
BDS try and sneak their way towards the Dragon, but all they find is Doom. Dragon goes over to Movistar KOI. It's not Soul, but it's so many kills on top of it that BDS are really going to struggle to move outside their base now. Just immediately after these fights have happened, red wards have started to litter their entire side of the map. It's been a much slower game. It's been much harder to play out from Movistar KOI because BDS had a great foothold and a great composition to deny areas of the map. They go from Dragon, they go over towards Baron, and with the death time is still pretty high from BDS, they can't fight this. The best they can look for is a steal. Ice not on the map, they'll have to let it go. Don't want to lose another death for nothing.
Second Baron coming on through, and BDS were up 5,000 gold. Blink and you miss it. It's now 3,000 gold to Movistar KOI. They've got Soul Point. They've got
like that. Movistar KOI get the fresh Baron buff on their backs, start pushing in towards towers.
The map gets a lot smaller suddenly for BDS. They've been shoving forward all game, not so much anymore. And MKOI, with a Karma at 4 items as well, really makes it difficult to get damage onto the Ezreal, who's got this huge AP and power shields at this point. Alvaro, though, going to be the target, hit with the Chains of Corruption, immediately taken out. Nuke Ice, though, get blasted by a Mantra Q. Jojo on the backside. Bailout on Ice will not be enough, and they just get 3! Karma for 2. Jojo and Super help with the rest. Alioya will step on forward with an Arctic Assault and get another. Nuke's got to try and pull off something. And there is just nothing to be found. He digs deep and the well is dry. Movistar KOI made to work for it in game 2. But work hard they do, and it will be a 2-0 to the Spanish Org.
The 2-0, 1 domination, 1 they had to do a bit of problem solving for, but